Today, I will tell you about the plot of the game, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. The canonical playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic is considered to be the good path, where the main character, that is, the player, adheres to the light side of the Force. This role is not limited to participation in the first part of the game, but echoes strongly in the second part of Knights of the Old Republic, the book Revan by Drew Karpyshyn, and the storyline of the massively multiplayer online role-playing game, The Old Republic. All of these stories are based precisely on the light path playthrough. No one is interested in being a good and kind Jedi. No one wants to save the galaxy and act altruistically. In this video, you will learn what it means to be a true scoundrel with limitless power. How would the fate of Star Wars turn out if one of the main characters of the old canon was an absolute, incredible, uncompromising misanthrope? I will tell you about the plot of Knights of the Old Republic, where the main character does not commit a single good deed and, whenever possible, robs, kills, blackmails, and uses the Force exclusively for evil. To start, a brief backstory without which it will be very difficult to navigate the events of the game. The events take place 4,000 years before the film's events. The Galactic Republic defeated the Mandalorian Wars 4 years ago at the cost of enormous losses. Two Jedi Knights, Revan and Malak, led the Republic to victory. The Mandalorians' defeat was supposed to bring peace to the galaxy, but it did not happen. The two heroes of the Republic, the two Jedi Knights who saved it, soon returned from the unknown regions of space changed. They had turned to the dark side of the Force. With them was an innumerable armada of spacecraft of unknown design. Behind them stood legions of soldiers and battle droids, and they slowly but surely began to tear away pieces from the weakened Republic, starting from the outer rims and heading towards the central worlds. But despite all the seeming might of the two Sith and their armada, the Republic, albeit weakened after the bloody war with the Mandalorians, had something to respond with. In the Jedi Order, there was a young girl named Bastila Shan, a Padawan with a rare ability, battle meditation. With her ability, Bastila plunged entire enemy armies into the depths of panicked despair, while simultaneously inspiring allies and ensuring victory where victory was simply impossible. But even despite such support, the Republic was slowly losing ground, and the Jedi Order devised a daring plan. A small Republic fleet lures the flagship of the Dark Lord, namely Darth Revan, into a trap, where a small squad of Jedi Knights boards the flagship. A suicidal mission, as the power of Revan is unimaginable. Yes, but among the Jedi Knights was Bastila, whose battle meditation equalized the odds. The Knights fought their way through the Dark Jedi and reached the deck, where they engaged in battle with the Dark Lord. But here a third party intervenes in the fight. Darth Malak, the apprentice and loyal follower of Revan. According to the ancient tradition of the Sith, the apprentice must surpass their master and take their place. Although Revan and Malak had almost nothing to do with those very Sith and their teachings, although they and their troops are commonly referred to as such, Malak decides that it is time to usurp mantle of Dark Lord. He orders to open fire on his teacher's cruiser. Malak takes over the armada, and the Jedi succeed and get rid of Revan. And here we transition directly to the game's plot. A soldier of the Galactic Republic wakes up to find himself in the middle of a battle on the Hammerhead-class capital ship, Endar Spire. Sith fighters attack the ship near the planet Taris. Trask Ulgo, his cabin mate, bursts in and says that they urgently need to find Bastila, who is also on the Endar Spire. Trask explains that Bastila is their only way to escape, as there are already a lot of enemy soldiers on board, including Dark Jedi, and without Bastila, they have no chance of surviving. The soldier agrees. Near the deck, their path is blocked by a Dark Jedi, whom Trask distracts, allowing the main character to break through. Karth Onasi, a veteran and hero of the Mandalorian Wars, contacts them. He says they are the last two crew members alive on board. Everyone else has either died or, like Bastila, escaped in lifeboats and are heading to Taris. So he advises the soldier to get to the escape pod as quickly as possible, as there is only one pod left, and they can escape from the Endar Spire together. The soldier kills the enemies in his path and meets Karth, after which the two leave the Hammerhead. The Sith realize that Bastila is no longer on board and blow up the ship, while the pod with Karth and the main character crashes somewhere on Taris. The soldier loses consciousness and has a vision of Bastila fighting a dark Jedi. He wakes up with Karth standing next to him explaining what happened. Their pod fell in the upper city of the planetary megapolis, and Karth managed to pull his unconscious comrade from the pod and hide from the crash site so the Sith did not find them. He found an abandoned apartment they will use as a hideout until they find Bastila. The hero does not accept Karth's offer and says he'll manage on his own. But according to Karth, this is impossible, as the entire Taris is under the control of the Sith and a planetary blockade has been set up. The blockade is because capturing Bastila is Darth Malak's primary goal. Without her and her battle meditation, the Republic has no way to counter the overwhelming firepower of the Sith. Given the situation, it is pointless to expect help from the Republic. The only option is to find Bastila themselves and a way to escape from Taris. The soldier reluctantly agrees. In the corridor, they encounter a skirmish between locals and the Sith. The Sith immediately recognize them as Republicans and open fire, initiating a battle. A local inhabitant, Duros, thanks the two for saving him. But the soldier advises Duros to get out of the way if he doesn't want to perish. The soldier and Karth immediately start breaking into all the rooms indiscriminately and robbing them. In one of them, they encounter a frightened girl named Dia, who says that all men are scoundrels like a certain Holden. While employed at the cantina, Dia was harassed by a drunk man named Holden. In retaliation, Dia struck Holden with a vibroblade, injuring and humiliating him. Holden responded by putting a bounty on Dia's head at the bounty office. The soldier and Karth kill Dia for the money. They rob all the other apartments and head to the cantina. There they meet a girl named Sarna, Sith officers. Sarna had decided to throw a party in her apartment in order for some of the troopers to blow off some steam, and the soldier and Karth are invited as well. In the cantina, participants register for non-lethal arena fights, and the main hero still decides to participate to earn some money. The soldier and Karth enter the medical center, run by Zelka Forn. The doctor talks about the Ragul plague ravaging the lowest part of Taris, a mysterious and ancient disease that turns the infected into bloodthirsty mutants. The doctor warns the two against going to those places. He also mentions that he heard about a serum that scientists of the Republic were supposedly developing before the planet was captured by the Sith, and which is now allegedly given to the occupiers' patrols conducting missions in the lower part of Taris. He asks the heroes to bring him a sample if they happen to find one. This would allow treating people for free and save many lives. However, as soon as the soldier steps away from Zelka, a stranger approaches him and advises him to give the serum to his acquaintance Hut, who works for the local crime lord Davik Kang. The latter will pay well for the serum. The soldier's attention is drawn to a closed door in the hospital. Karth breaks it open, and they see injured soldiers of the Republic in tanks filled with a healing substance. After this, the heroes blackmail Zelka, threatening to report him to the Sith, who are searching for Republicans who escaped from the Endar Spire. Outside the hospital, two thugs try to extort money from an old man who owes Davik Kang. The heroes quickly get rid of the collectors, after which the player tries to extort the money from the old man himself. But Karth interferes, and the old man runs away. The soldier and Karth decide it's high time to go to the party at Sarna's with her fellow officers. On their way, they rob all the apartments, and in one of them, a frightened man named Largo is hiding. He begs not to be handed over to Davik Kang, to whom he owes money. Because of the debt, the crime boss has placed a bounty on Largo's head. The main hero proposes a deal. If Largo gives him credits, he won't turn him in, to which Largo agrees. After this, the soldier kills Largo, and he now has 2 bounties he can collect for the heads of the residents he has killed. Then they arrive at a party where all the Sith are drunk. The main character surveys the bodies lying on the floor and steals a uniform from one of them. Now it is possible to walk freely on Taris, and even descend to the lower levels of the city to gather information about Bastila while bypassing patrols and cordons. In the lower city, the heroes encounter representatives of two major gangs. Thugs from the Black Vulkars gang kill members of the Hidden Becks gang. Then the soldier kills the thugs from the Black Vulkars and proceeds to claim bounties for the heads of the people and Twi'leks he killed from a local hut who issues money to bounty hunters. The hero seeks help from the leader of the Hidden Becks gang, Gaden Thek, with whom he strikes a deal. Gaden reveals that Bastila was captured by members of the Black Vulkars and that she has been put up as the main prize for the Swoop races. This race is exclusive and outsiders are not allowed to participate. Gaden offers to sponsor the soldier and send him to race as the representative of his gang. But first, the main character must break into the Black Vulkars base and retrieve a prototype racing engine that the Vulkars recently stole from the Becks. However, there is a problem. One cannot simply enter the Vulkars base through the main entrance, but he has heard that there is some secret passage deep within the Undercity, although he does not know the exact location. However, the exact place of the passage is known to a young homeless female Twi'lek named Mission Vao and her friend Wookiee Zaalbar. They are always hanging around the Undercity and know every nook and cranny of it. One caveat: you can't get there without documents, which Gaden has in exchange for our hero's uniform. Gaden does not deceive. The documents are in order, and with them, the soldier passes through the cordon and descends into the Undercity. There, he is confronted by two residents of the Undercity village who try to extort a mere 5 credits from him for the right to pass, arguing that the lift belongs to them. But our hero warns them that if they do not leave within a few seconds, he will shoot them with his blaster. In the village, an ancient old man named Rukil requests assistance in searching for the Promised Land. He believes that a long time ago, the inhabitants of Taris built a fully autonomous, self-sufficient colony, and that his grandfather, father, and a follower were engaged in searching for this very colony, which he calls the Promised Land. Rukil takes the soldier for a prophet, who will lead the wretched outcasts living in the Undercity to this colony, and asks to search for journals. At the village gates, a commotion begins. Gendar, one of the village residents, had gone for a walk beyond the gates, and now stands by the gates, begging for them to be opened as he is being chased Raguls. But the guard refuses to open them, as it would endanger the entire village. A woman named Hester begs the hero to intervene for Gendar and kill the Raguls, but our hero refuses, and the Raguls eat Gendar, and Hester scolds the hero for his callousness and heartlessness. Shortly after the soldier and Karth leave the village, they encounter the very Twi'lek named Mission Vao. She begs for help. Her friend, the Wookiee Zaalbar, has been captured by slavers and needs to be rescued urgently. The hero agrees, but in return asks for assistance in infiltrating the base of the Black Vulkars, and Mission Vao joins their team. Battling patrols of Sith and packs of Raguls, the hero and the team find a serum capable of curing those infected by the dreadful Ragul plague, and naturally, they give it to the hut for a reward. Then they discover the corpse of Rukil's apprentice with a datapad containing information about the Promised Land, about which Rukil wants to learn more. He brings the datapad to Rukil, who says that 2 more datapads exist. Combining data from all 3, one can localize the colony's location. The old man beseeches the heroes to find these datapads, which will allow the wretched underground outcasts to be led to the Promised Land. But at the village's exit, the heroes are met by Igir, who offers a deal. The datapads with the information about the Promised Land in exchange for 100 credits. The main hero agrees. The team sets off to rescue Zaalbar, who is held captive by slavers in the Undercity stocks. Fighting through pig-like humanoids and Raguls, they find the Wookiee, who is so grateful to the heroes for saving him that he swears a life debt to him. This is an ancient tradition of the Wookiee people, a vow made to someone to whom one's life is owed, meaning that from now on, Zaalbar will accompany the hero and assist him until either of their lives ends. As agreed, Mission Vao is now ready to show the hero how to get to the Black Vulkars base. In the drains, they find the remaining datapads with information about the Promised Land and bring them to Igir in exchange for 100 credits. This enrages the old Rukil because the village's bright future has been sold. The team descends back in the drains and moves towards the secret entrance to the Black Vulkars base. But there is one problem. It is guarded by an adult Rancor. Mission Vow, using a stealth generator, sneaks up to the pile of corpses in the beast's lair. She plants a thermal detonator among the corpses and coats them with synthesized pheromones that attract the Rancor and awaken its hunger. The Rancor eats the mined corpse, and a powerful explosion occurs inside its stomach, killing the beast. Following this, the path to the gang's base is opened. The team kills all the Vulkars they encounter on their way. Inside, the heroes see a frightened waitress who works at the base against her will and offers to let her go if she tells them everything she knows about the gang, Bastila, and the experimental engine that the hero is after. After she relays all the necessary information, the hero kills her with a strike from his vibroblade. After this, he finds another informant. This is a former high-ranking gang member whom the new leader named Kashyyyk has made a henchman. Seeking revenge, the Twi'lek tells the heroes exactly where the prototype engine is located, on the lower level of the base in the garage. In exchange for this information, he asks to be spared, but the hero kills him as well. The team continues killing Vulkars and carries out sabotage as they make their way deeper into the base. In the garage, they are confronted by one of the gang leaders, who offers to make a deal. Perceiving the opportunity, the leader proposes to kill Gedon Thek, the leader of the Hidden Becks, and the Vulkars will appoint the hero as their Swoop racer, install an experimental engine on his Swoop, pay him 500 credits, and hand over Bastila if he wins. Naturally, our hero agrees. The next morning, he arrives at the racetrack and sees Bastila in a cage, under the influence of some psychotropic substances and deprived of her abilities by a special neurocollar. To free her, he only has to win a few races, which he does with ease. However, Kashyyyk changes the terms of the deal and refuses to hand over Bastila, arguing that it is unsafe to give her to anyone since she is a Jedi. But it turns out that Bastila is not significantly weakened by the psychotropic substances and the collar and uses the Force. She breaks out of the cage, and together with the heroes, they kill the Vulkars and Kashyyyk. The soldier tells Bastila that he and Karth were looking for her and now want to find a way to escape from Taris. They head to the base, where the hero decides to rest. He once again has a vision in which Bastila and a squad of Jedi Knights break into the ship's deck and are about to engage Revan in battle, but another ship opens fire on them and Revan is killed. Upon waking, the hero tells Bastila about his dream, to which she responds that it might be a sign that he is sensitive to the Force, and he needs to appear before the Jedi Council once they escape from Taris. As he is about to exit the shelter, a messenger runs up to the hero and informs him that Canderous Ordo, a Mandalorian in the service of the local crime boss, Davik Kang, urgently wants to speak with him. The meeting is scheduled at the Upper City Cantina. Canderous proposes his own plan to the hero for escaping from Taris. All they need are two things, a ship and the Sith launch codes. There is a ship, or rather, Canderous knows where to get it, from his employer Davik Kang. In his estate stands the Ebon Hawk, one of the fastest smuggling ships in the galaxy. But no speed, maneuverability, or armor will allow them to break through the planetary blockade. For that, they will need the launch codes, and Canderous knows where to steal them. At a nearby military base in the Upper City. They can infiltrate the base using a droid, which can be purchased from the nearest store. Before storming the Sith base, the soldier decides to warm up a bit and defeat everyone he can in the Taris arena. Death matches are currently banned by law, but a Hutt decides that it's time for a real fight, a fight to the death. In this battle, he chooses to pit the current champion, our hero known as the Mysterious Stranger, against the former champion Bendak Starkiller, a Mandalorian who killed all other combatants back in his arena fighting days. Our hero challenges Bendak Starkiller to a deathmatch and emerges victorious, becoming the undisputed champion of Taris. Moreover, a bounty has been placed on Bendak's head. Following his triumph, he proceeds to purchase the droid T3M4, but the vendor demands 2,000 credits. He threatens her with his underworld connections, compelling her to relinquish the droid for free. T-3M4 effortlessly hacks the door to the base, allowing the crew to infiltrate. Inside, they encounter an administrator who begs not to be killed, but the hero charges at her with swords. Before dying, she manages to press a red button. The base's personnel are alerted. The team kills everyone inside and finds a captive Duros, who had been interrogated about the murder of soldiers near the hero's hideout. Given the clear danger of leaving him alive, a soldier kills him as well. Next, the hero locates the planetary governor within the base, kills him, takes the launch codes, and heads to meet Candaris in the lower city Cantina Taris. Candaris plans to introduce our hero to his employer Davik Kang as a potential and promising member of the Exchange Galactic Criminal Organization. In the meantime, while Candaris makes inquiries, the hero and the team will steal Davik's ship, the Ebon Hawk, and use the launch codes to escape from Taris. The team sets off for Davik. Meanwhile, in orbit around Taris, aboard the command deck of the flagship Leviathan, Darth Malak tells Admiral Saul Karath that the search for Bastila has taken too long, and they can no longer risk allowing her to escape. Malak orders the Admiral to commence a total planetary bombardment of Taris, despite the billions of civilian lives and numerous soldiers stationed there. The Admiral complies without question and begins preparations to destroy the planet. At the estate, our hero and Candaris are met by Davik, who gives them a brief tour and boasts about his prized possession, the ship, the Ebon Hawk. Once Davik departs, the team starts looting the guest rooms and killing everyone inside. In one of the rooms, they encounter a Twi'lek female who pleads for her life and divulges all she knows about the estate and Davik. It transpires that the Ebon Hawk is held in a locked hangar, and the only one with access codes is the pilot, who is currently in a torture chamber for stealing psychotropic substances from Davik. The hero rescues the pilot, who provides the access codes to the hangar, after which the Republic hero kills him. The codes are ultimately unnecessary, as T-3M4 had already opened the hangar door with ease. As soon as the hero and the team enter the hangar, the Sith fleet begins their bombardment. In the hangar, our crew engages in combat with Davik Kang and his mercenary named Kalo Nord. Davik perishes from a blast from a ship's weapon, and Kalo is buried under the hangar's rubble. The team steals the Ebon Hawk and takes off, utilizing the launch codes. They witness the entire global city of Taris collapsing in flames under the turbo laser's fire. They bypass the planetary blockade, but before the Hawk computer could calculate the hyperspace route, enemy scanners detect them, and several fighters pursue them. The main hero, having taken the seat of the ship's turret, fights back, and the Ebon Hawk makes a hyperspace jump to Dantooine, where one of the Jedi academies and the Jedi Council responsible for training are located. Despite his age, the hero is suspiciously quickly accepted for training and admitted to the Jedi Academy on Dantooine. The following night, he receives another vision. Revan and Malak enter a temple infused with the dark side of the Force and find an unknown device, a map of the galaxy marked with locations. He hurries to share the vision with the Council, but they say that Bastila has already told them everything. The soldier and Bastila shared the vision, which is very strange, as such a connection usually forms between a master and an apprentice over many years. These two have only known each other for a few days and are not very closely linked. The Jedi explain that there are indeed ruins near the Academy, and since the Force has sent a vision of these ruins to Bastila and the hero, they must be investigated. However, their new student must first learn the basics of handling the Force. The hero incredibly quickly masters the Force. His progress is colossal and anomalous. Training that takes others years he accomplishes in mere days, and soon he becomes a full member of the Jedi Order. To earn the title of Padawan, he has to pass 3 trials, learn and understand the Jedi Code, assemble his first lightsaber, and cleanse a grove nearby from the influence of the dark side of the Force. He almost immediately passes the first 2 trials and sets out to complete the third. On the way, they encounter a crazy widow who asks him to find a droid left to her by her late husband, as the droid has been stolen. The hero finds this droid on the plains, where wild animals have attacked it. The droid says it ran away of its own accord because its mistress went mad and started treating it as her husband. To prevent the woman from further descending into madness and to encourage her to communicate with real people, it decided to leave. It asks the hero to destroy it and tell the widow that the droid is no more. The soldier destroys the droid and then tells the woman that her husband is still out there and needs to be found. In the grove, the soldier finds the source of the dark side of the Force. It is the dark Jedi Juhani, one of the Padawans, who attacked her master and fled the academy. A battle ensues, and our hero defeats Juhani. Returning to the academy, he reports the successful completion of the mission to the council, and he is promoted to the rank of Padawan. The Jedi Masters believe that the vision of the ruins is very important, and that these ruins may hide a weapon capable of defeating Darth Malak. Bastila and the soldier are sent there. They are interrupted by an elder, Alan Matale, who demands that the Jedi investigate the disappearance of his son, Shan. He accuses his neighbor, Nurik Sandral, of the kidnapping. The senior Jedi assigns this task to our hero. He and Bastila infiltrate the ruins, where they are met by an ancient droid who speaks several languages, including now dead and unknown ones. By searching through languages, they find a way to communicate with him and find out that he and these ruins were built by some ancient, unknown to science race, Rakata, during the Infinite Empire. This happened over 20,000 years ago. That is, even before the founding of the Galactic Republic. He says that Revan and Malak visited this place seeking information about something called the Star Forge. To obtain this information, they proved themselves worthy of it, and the hero needs to do the same. The droid itself cannot say what the Star Forge is. After passing the most complex intellectual challenges and defeating the protective systems of the ruins, the hero gains access to the star map, which he has already seen in a dream. It does not show the Star Forge, but it indicates other star maps on the planets Tatooine, Manan, Korriban, and Kashyyyk. Combining the coordinates from each fragment of the star map should reveal the location of the Star Forge. Upon exiting the ruins, our character remembers the feud between 2 families and heads towards them. Alan Matale, whose son allegedly disappeared due to the Sandral family, offers 1,000 credits for the return of his son. Nurik Sandral receives the Jedi at his estate, but denies his involvement in Shan Matale's disappearance. However, his daughter Rahasya runs in and claims that Shen is being held in one of the mansion's rooms. Nurik, she says, has gone mad and is avenging the disappearance of his son, Casus, blaming Alan Matale for it. The soldier finds Shen. It turns out that he and Rahasya love each other and decide to flee far from their family's feud. As soon as they exit the mansion, Alan approaches with his battle droids, and Nurik comes out of the mansion with his drones. This ends in a shootout in which all members of both families die. The mission of the council is completed. The feud between the Matale and Sandral families is over forever, and our hero reports this to the Jedi Council. He also tells about the star map that he and Bastila found in the ruins, and the council decides to send 2 Jedi to search for the remaining pieces of the puzzle that will reveal the location of the Star Forge. The crew on the Ebon Hawk takes off from Dantooine and makes a hyperjump to Tatooine. Meanwhile, aboard the Leviathan, the Dark Lord meets with Kalo Nord. Malak is impressed that the bounty hunter survived a meeting with the Jedi and the hero of the Republic. He hires Kalo Nord to capture Bastila while killing the others. Before landing at Anchorhead Spaceport, the hero and Bastila again have a dream about the star map. It is located in some large cave. In Anchorhead, a woman approaches the soldier, begging him to buy a bone plate from a local animal's skull. The point is, that her husband died during a hunt and she has no means to live on, but the 500 credits she plans to earn from the plate will save her life. The hero, however, believes her life is not worth saving and takes the plate, clouding the widow's mind with the Force. Outside, in the local cantina and in the bookmaker's office, the soldier extorts money from everyone he can, and those he cannot, he threatens with violence, causing them to flee in terror. A Hutt requests the soldier to persuade the promising Twi'lek racer Nico Senvi to sign a highly disadvantageous contract for Nico, under which he will give almost all his prize money to the Hutt. Our hero resolves this issue by using the Force on the racer's mind, and he agrees. On the way out of the bookmaker's office, Sith assassins, sent by Darth Malak, attack the hero and his team for the first time. In the droid shop, the hero finds a very interesting specimen, an HK-47 Hunter-Killer series assassin droid, for which the seller is asking an exorbitant sum of 5,000 credits. The soldier uses his abilities and, with the Force, negotiates it down to 2,500 credits. The droid obeys his new master without question. It speaks in a very peculiar manner, lacking intonation. It audibly clarifies what intonation it will use before each phrase: assertion, negation, threat, sarcasm, regret, and so on. Outside Anchorhead, a woman stands, speaking ill of her husband, and asks to give him a hello when met, after which she flees to the starport. The husband stands nearby, surrounded by battle droids. The woman has programmed them to explode if the husband moves, condemning him to a painful death in the sands or a quick one from the explosion. The man asks to be rescued from the trap, but our hero detonates the droids, thereby killing the unfortunate man. In the desert, the gang notices a standing sandcrawler nearby with miners who are being attacked by Tusken raiders, the Sand People, whose attacks are barely repelled. No one knows Tatooine better than the Tusken raiders, and logically, it makes sense to try and find out from them where the cave with the star map might be located. The team moves towards their enclave, killing the aggressive savages along the way. In front of the enclave, the soldier and Bastila disguise themselves in Tusken raiders' garb, allowing them to infiltrate inside, bypassing the defensive turrets that the Tusken raiders had stolen from the miners. Inside, the team finds the map, the Dune Sea, which marks the lair of the Krayt Dragon, a mighty beast living in a huge cave similar to the one that Bastila and the soldier saw in a dream. In the eastern Dune Sea, they find this cave, but inside, the Krayt Dragon still resides. Fortunately, at the entrance stands the renowned hunter Comad Fortuna, who proposes to slay the beast together and split the loot equally. The plan is as follows: lay powerful mines at the entrance and lure the Krayt Dragon with banthas, huge hairy animals living in the desert that the Tusken raiders use as livestock. The hero lures the bantha, but Tusken raiders appear, defending their sacred animals. After the battle, bantha is led to the cave. Krayt emerges and triggers landmines. The beast is defeated, but our hero does not intend to share the loot. He betrays Comad and kills him. In the cave, the gang finds the second star map and is already preparing to leave the sandy planet. But at the exit, they are ambushed by Kalo Nord and his mercenaries. Nord says that on Taris, the hero and the others were lucky because the Sith interfered and prevented Kalo Nord from killing them. The battle begins, and Kalo Nord finally meets his end. In Anchorhead, a Twi'lek approaches the hero and hands him an invitation to Genoharadan, an elite assassination organization whose leaders were impressed that our hero managed to take down Kalo Nord twice. The datapad states that the main character is invited to meet on the planet Manan. He must come alone. The team on the Ebenhawk leaves Tatooine, makes a hyperspace jump, and lands in the spaceport of Korriban, the desert planet that was once the center of the ancient Sith Empire. The very same race of red-skinned adepts, sensitive to the dark side of the Force, who were expelled from there by the Jedi and the Republic at the end of the Great Hyperspace War. Before landing, The Jedi see a star map in a dream. It is located in some tomb. Korriban is the cradle of the Sith Empire. It is home to the infamous Valley of the Dark Lords, a concentration of the tombs of dark side of the Force Lords of yesteryear. The map could be in any of them. Next to the valley is an academy where they teach the dark side of the Force to both novices and former Jedi who have turned away from the light. Near the spaceport, our hero sees one of the Sith intimidating 3 applicants. He mocks their weakness and worthlessness, shouting and threatening. Seeing the Jedi, he turns to him and asks how he should deal with the 3 weaklings. The conversation is interrupted by a true professional in the art of torture, HK 47. Relying on his experience, he suggests that disembowelment, electric shocks, or blows with blunt objects would be perfect. Our hero is not interested in what happens to the applicants, and the young Sith kills all 3 with lightning. The way to the Valley of the Dark Lords lies through the Sith Academy. At the entrance, the hero meets Bastila, a Jedi Knight whom he recently noticed in the academy on Dantooine. But after he killed her friend Yuhani, Bastila turned to the dark side and left Dantooine. She attacks and pays for her boldness with her life. After this, our hero sees 3 emaciated persons, dying of hunger and thirst, barely standing at the entrance of the academy, while a young Sith named Mikkel mocks them. Mikkel deceived them, saying that this was some kind of test they needed to pass to become students. The soldier finds this amusing and also decides to mock them. He tells one that there is one final test left, to kill the guard at the entrance. The hero is not allowed inside either. To gain entry, he must enlist the support of one of the teachers or students of the academy, or possess a special seal granting passage rights. But he quickly finds a powerful patron, Korriban, an apprentice of the academy's head. She immediately sees potential in the hero and offers him her support and the right to join the ranks of the apprentices. Soldier and other newcomers in the academy are greeted by Win, the head of the academy and the teacher of Korriban. The first trial for the Sith is identical to the Jedi trial, to learn and understand the code. Then the most interesting part begins. The apprentices need to earn respect by performing various tasks and feats, and the one who impresses Uther the most will earn the right to the final trial, which will take place in the tomb of the Dark Lord named Naga Sadow. It then turns out that the star map is located in this tomb, so our hero begins his training. Korriban immediately admits that no one other than him is worthy to join the ranks of the Sith. She offers him her assistance during his training in exchange for his help in killing the head of the academy. The plan is as follows. Only 3 people enter the tomb of Naga Sadow, the hero Uther and Yuthura. When the time comes, the apprentices will attack the master, kill him. Yuthura will take the place of the head of the academy, and our hero will become her apprentice. He immediately agrees to such a daring and treacherous plan, but first he needs to earn Master Uther's respect and gain the right to enter the tomb of Naga Sadow. The hero studies and masters the Sith code, then explains and expounds it to Master Uther. Then he first goes to the cells where an inquisitor is trying to extract from a captive Mandalorian the location of a hidden weapons cache. The Mandalorian does not succumb either to the influence of the Force or to psychotropic substances, but our hero quickly combines both and learns from the prisoner all that was required. However, the Inquisitor wants to take credit for this achievement, attacks, and quickly pays with his life for such foolishness. Next, the soldier goes to the training hall and kills all the prisoners there, upon whom the Sith train their combat skills and the use of combat abilities of the Force. In a cave near the academy, he finds and kills the runaway students who decided to leave the academy, fearing to continue their training there. He then penetrates the tomb of the very first Sith Dark Lord and the leader of those exiled from the Republic, the Dark Jedi, Ajunta Pal. The spirit of the Dark Lord remains confined in these grim halls for many centuries, consumed by cold and despair. He laments how great a mistake he and his followers made by betraying the Jedi Order and succumbing to the dark side of the Force. Our hero finds the Dark Lord's sword then insults and humiliates him. He tells him that he is the most ludicrous and pitiable of all Dark Lords of all time. Our soldier makes an agreement with one of the apprentices, Lasho, and together they lure out and kill a Tukata mother and her pack. They do this to seize the Sith holocron. Lasho wants to take the holocron for herself, to impress the teachers, but our hero has other plans, and he kills his rival, taking the holocron. In the tomb of Tulak Horde, the hero falls into a trap set by the former head of the academy, now a deranged old exile, Jorak Uln. He ensnares the hero and another student, Mikkel, who had previously bullied the candidates at the academy gates. Jorak Uln begins testing the hero on his knowledge of Sith lore. For each correct answer, he strikes Mikkel with lightning. For each incorrect answer, he strikes the hero. The hero flawlessly passes the test, causing Mikkel to die in excruciating agony. The hero prepares to report to Master Uther that he has killed the runaway students, retrieved Ajuntapal's sword and the ancient holocron, as well as survived an encounter with the former head of the academy. Before proceeding to take the final test at the tomb of Nagasado, he betrays Yuthura Ban and informs Uther that she plans to betray him. Uther thanks him for his honesty and orders the hero to relay a command to his servant, Adrenas, to poison Yuthura. The hero then goes to Yuthura and informs her that he has betrayed her and that Uther intends to poison her. Yuthura tries to turn this to her advantage, gives him the key to Uthar's quarters, and asks the hero to poison the head of the academy. The hero discreetly places the poison under Uthar's bed, then delivers Uthar's order to Adrenas, who poisons Yuthura's bath. Therefore, the two highest-ranking members of the academy are poisoned and weakened. The next day, the final test begins in the tomb. The hero has to navigate through dark tunnels alone, find the ritual lightsaber at the end, and return it to the entrance. Inside, the hero battles Terentatex, specifically bred for hunting Jedi, solves puzzles, and eventually finds the star map of Korriban and the ritual sword, after which he returns to Uthar and Yuthura, killing both, thereby depriving the Sith Academy on Korriban of its leadership. He then kills all remaining instructors and students, inside and outside, effectively cutting off the entire chain of training new adepts of the dark side of the Force on Korriban. His next stop is Manan, a planet completely covered in water. From a vision, he understands that the star map rests at the bottom of the ocean, presenting a considerable challenge, as it is impossible to reach it alone. He initially visits Manan to join the secret bounty hunter guild, the Genoharadan, which invited him after he killed Kalo Nord. Manan is one of the few neutral planets in the galaxy amid the current conflict, and the Selkath, the inhabitants of this planet, can afford to maintain neutrality due to kolto, a natural substance that relieves pain and heals even the most severe wounds. The Republic and the Sith are forced to refrain from potentially annexing Manan because this resource is too valuable to risk. In the event of an invasion by either side, the Selkath are ready to destroy the only kolto source at the ocean floor, thereby depriving the Republic and the Empire of a priceless medicine. According to Manan's laws, anyone who shows aggression is immediately subjected to their harsh tribunal or, at the very least, must pay hefty fines. Due to this, curious incidents arise in cities where entire groups of soldiers from opposing sides try to provoke each other. Recruitment of new members to the Genoharadan is overseen by Hulas. He tells the hero that this organization wields immense influence in the galaxy, despite the fact that few know about it. They assassinate the highest-ranking members of the Republic and the Empire, warlords and other individuals who, in their opinion, could cause harm to the galaxy. Hulas gives him a test assignment, to kill one of two targets. One of them is being held captive in the Republic Embassy on Manan, while the other target is hunting slaves on the plains of Dantooine. The soldier eliminates both targets and joins the Genoharadan. He receives 3 real assignments, to kill 3 new targets on 3 different planets, Tatooine, Kashyyyk, and Manan. He tracks down his first target in the sands of Tatooine. Next, he flies to Kashyyyk, the Wookiee planet covered in dense forests. As he approaches, he receives another vision. The star map is located at the base of enormous trees in the Darklands. The hero recalls that he has a Wookiee, Zalbar, on his team and takes him along. With Zalbar, it will be easier to navigate Kashyyyk. Zalbar tells him how 20 years ago he was forced to flee his home planet. His brother Chundar made a deal with slavers and allowed them to operate on Kashyyyk. Zalbar was enraged by this and attacked his brother. The brothers were separated, but their father did not believe Zalbar when he told him about his brother's deal and banished Zalbar from Kashyyyk. At the gates of the spaceport, the team encounters slavers who have just killed a captured Wookiee. Within seconds, all the slavers are dead. They find the Wookiee settlement where Chundar, Zalbar's brother, rules, and a guard takes them to their chieftain. Chundar outlines the situation. He is the chieftain with the full support of his people. He is backed by slavers from the Churka Corporation. He has plenty of weapons, and fighting him is suicide. He says he will release the hero and Zalbar if the hero fulfills his request. They need to kill a maddened Wookiee who is causing trouble in the Darklands and killing slavers, which undermines Chundar's authority. The soldier needs to descend into the Darklands to find the star map, so he agrees. Zalbar stays with the chieftain as a hostage, and the hero with his team descends into the Darklands. There they are met by an apprentice of Darth Malak himself, Darth Bandon, along with his minions. A battle ensues in which Bandon and his minions perish. Wandering through the Darklands, the team encounters an old Jedi, Jolee Bindo, who settled long ago on Kashyyyk. During their conversation, Jolee says that he knows where the fragment of the star map is and will guide them there if they help him get rid of the slavers who have frequently roamed around his lair on the slope. He asks them to get rid of them bloodlessly. They need to make the slavers leave but not kill them, but our hero still kills the slavers. Concurrently, he discovers the second target assigned to him for assassination by the Jinoharadan. It turns out to be a shapeshifter, capable of assuming various forms. The hero returns to Jolee and reports that he has dealt with the slavers. The old grump is displeased that blood was shed, but agrees to help him find the fragment of the star map. In the depths of the Darklands, they encounter Mandalorians who hunt the Wookiee. The team kills the Mandalorians, and the Wookiee beg for their help. He is seriously injured and in need of medical treatment, but the soldier calls him a weakling and refuses to assist. Pushing through the thickets, the band eventually finds the next fragment of the star map. Not far from it, they meet a Wookiee. He was sent by Chief Chundar to kill them. It turns out this is Chundar and Zalbar's father, named Freyr. He has gone mad after realizing he exiled his son, while his other son sold his people into slavery and became the chief. But our hero does not forgive such folly and kills the old Wookiee, then returns to Chundar. The soldier pays no mind to the Wookiee slavery on Kashyyyk, and does nothing to overthrow the vile Chief Chundar. On Kashyyyk, everything remains the same, and the team flies off to search for the last fragment of the star map on Manan. But their plans for finding the map are thwarted. The Ebon Hawk falls into a trap. The ship is captured by a tractor beam from Darth Malak's flagship, the Leviathan, commanded by Admiral Saul Karath, a former mentor of Karth Onasi, who betrayed the Republic and sided with the Sith. The entire crew falls into Saul's hands, and he begins to torture and interrogate them. Our hero willingly divulges all the information he possesses. The location of the Jedi Council, the purpose of the mission, and how they learned about the Star Forge and the maps. It seems there is no chance of escape, but the heroic HK-47, a hunter-killer series assassin droid, manages to break out of the repair bay, kill half the crew of the Leviathan, and free the captured crew of the Ebon Hawk. They break through to the deck, where they engage in combat with Admiral Karath. Karth Onasi personally finishes off the Admiral, who is responsible for the death of Karth's entire family and many friends. Once it was Saul Karath who ordered the bombardment of his planet. But before his death, the Admiral reveals some terrible secret to Karth, shocking him profoundly. He demands an explanation from Bastila, but she promises to tell him everything later as there is no time now. She senses a disturbance in the Force. Darth Malak is already close and will soon arrive on the Leviathan. But the team does not manage to escape in time, and on the way to the hangar they are met personally by Darth Malak. And here it is revealed what terrible secret Saul Karath exposed before his death. The main hero is Darth Revan. Malak recognizes him and cannot believe his eyes. Bastila cannot hold back any longer and explains what is happening. It turns out that when the Jedi Knight's assault team boarded Revan's ship and Malak betrayed his master by firing upon the vessel, Revan did not perish. He suffered terrible wounds. His body was dying, and his mind was destroyed. But Bastila used her abilities to preserve a spark of life within Revan's body. The Jedi took Revan to Dantooine. There, through their combined efforts, they were able to save him from death and heal his dead mind. However, the damage was so severe that Revan's identity was lost forever, and the Jedi Council took a bold and risky step. They endowed their greatest enemy with a new identity, one that remembered nothing of his past life. Darth Revan would have been dead, but they gave him a chance to atone for his sins and participate in the battle against the dark side. Bastila wanted to tell Darth Revan about his past, but the Council strictly forbade it. The Jedi feared that in such a case, Darth Revan would return to the dark side. When Darth Revan once again became sensitive to the Force, and had a vision of a fragment of the star map on Dantooine, the Jedi Council decided this was an opportunity to find the Star Forge, which Revan and Malak had used to rapidly organize their large fleet and droid armies. To find it and destroy it, depriving the Sith of their primary advantage. And there is another problem. Malak cowardly gave the order to open fire on his teacher from a safe distance. Moreover, his teacher survived, and many doubt the legitimacy of Malak's inheritance of the mantle of Dark Lord. But now, Revan stands before him, and he can finally destroy his former teacher with his own hands. Malak paralyzes Bastila and Karth and hopes to easily deal with Darth Revan, but in return faces resistance, then retreats. In the adjacent compartment, Darth Revan catches up with Malak, but he also paralyzes his former teacher. And once again Bastila saves Revan from certain death. She attacks Malak, yelling at Revan to find the Star Forge, and seals the compartment doors, staying to fight Malak one-on-one. By that time, the rest of the team had already reached the hangar and battled their way to the Ebon Hawk. Revan and Karth arrive last, without Bastila. The Ebon Hawk leaves the Leviathan's hangar and escapes pursuit, then makes a hyperspace jump to Manan, where the last fragment of the star map is located. Revan explains to the team who he is, and all pledge their loyalty. The Ebon Hawk arrives on Manan. There, Darth Revan reports to Hulas of the Genoharadan. All targets have been eliminated, and here Hulas reveals that the 3 individuals Darth Revan killed were the leaders of the Genoharadan. They are dead. The sole survivor is Hulas, who is now the undisputed leader of the Genoharadan. They decide to hold a one-on-one duel on Tatooine near Anchorhead. Darth Revan arrives alone, and after a prolonged battle, the leader of the Genoharadan and their best bounty hunters lie dead. Darth Revan returns to Manan. The star map is underwater, and Revan needs the Republic's help to find it. Therefore, he heads to the Manan embassy. The ambassador agrees to help and provide a submarine for the dive, but only in exchange for a favor. Revan needs to infiltrate the Sith embassy and retrieve a memory chip from a Republic reconnaissance droid that the Sith had captured. To gain access to the embassy, Darth Revan interrogates a captured Sith to extract the secret passphrase needed to bypass the security. However, upon entering, it becomes clear that the code is outdated. Security arrives, and a fight ensues. Inside the embassy, Darth Revan kills many Sith and finds the damaged Republic reconnaissance droid, extracting the memory chip and making his escape. However, upon exiting, he is apprehended by the Manan security forces for violating sacred neutrality. Revan is taken to a facility similar to a police station, where he discovers that he will soon need to stand trial. In court, however, He successfully convinces the judges of Manan to release him from the courtroom. In the local cantina, Darth Revan is approached by a Selkath, who asks him to find the missing young Selkath, among which is his daughter. He believes that the Sith are involved in the disappearance of the young ones. After questioning some bounty hunters, Darth Revan finds out that the Sith had hired them to kidnap young Selkath and deliver them to the embassy. It seems they are attempting to indoctrinate the local youth into the Sith ideology to create a loyal new generation and ultimately seize power on the planet, cutting off the Republic's supply of kolto. Revan then returns to the Republic's ambassador and hands over the droid's memory chip. As promised, the ambassador tells Revan everything they know about the star map. The Republic had secretly started operations on the oceanic shelf and was clandestinely extracting kolto there. Things were fine for a while, but recently their team stumbled upon some ancient structure or artifact, and shortly thereafter, communication with the underwater station was lost. The Republic sent several expeditions, but none returned. The ambassador thinks the star map is to blame. Before descending to the ocean floor, Darth Revan once again infiltrates the now deserted Sith embassy following his previous visit. Inside, he indeed finds young Selkath being trained by dark Jedi. Those who refuse to follow the Sith are tortured and killed. In one of the embassy rooms, Darth Revan finds Selkath who do not immediately attack. Among them is the daughter of the Selkath, who sent Revan on the search. They explain that they follow the Sith voluntarily, as they believe the Sith will eventually triumph. Darth Revan initially wanted to kill them, but realized it would be better to leave them alive, for he plans to reclaim his position as the Dark Lord and will need his own servants on Manan to help seize power in the future. Therefore, he agrees with their reasoning and leaves the Sith embassy, then returns to the Selkath. He says he has obtained the information, but will require additional payment to reveal the fate of the daughter. Then, Darth Revan recounts what he saw at the Sith embassy and that the daughter does not intend to return. Following this, Darth Revan decides that it is finally time to find the last fragment of the star map. He descends in the submarine the Republic to the ocean floor, where a mining platform of the Republic is located with which communication was recently lost. Inside the platform, he meets a frightened Twi'lek mercenary. He tells Revan that the Selkath on the platform have gone mad and are killing everyone they see, that there are dead bodies scattered everywhere, and that the Selkath are screaming like lunatics. Then Darth Revan kills the mercenary. Revan begins to destroy the insane Selkath, and suddenly hears someone moving inside a locker. There sits one of the Republic soldiers guarding the station. Darth Revan pierces the locker with his lightsaber, after which the dead soldier falls out. He dons a diving suit and exits to the ocean floor to reach another section of the station, killing sharks along the way. There he encounters two frightened scientists who lock him in one of the sections and release gas, mistaking him for a threat. Darth Revan uses the Force to convince them to release him, after which he finds out what happened at the station. During the excavations, a huge shark broke out from the depths. Everyone on the station felt a terrible scream that sounded as if it was inside their heads. The Selkath began screaming and went insane in an instant. They attacked the scientists and soldiers of the Republic, tearing them apart and devouring them. Evidently, the excavations disturbed the huge shark and began threatening its offspring. The scientists proposed two options: poison the shark or destroy the entire station. Before making a decision, Darth Revan killed both scientists for attempting to kill him by locking him in the adjacent section. Darth Revan exits to the ocean floor again and sees that the huge shark is swimming in the distance around the star map. He releases a toxin into the water, which prevents the huge shark from breathing, causing it to quickly die. However, in doing so, he also poisons the kolto reserves. He managed to reach the last fragment of the star map and revealed the location of the Star Forge. The Ebonhawk makes a hyperspace jump to the coordinates from the star maps to where the Star Forge is located. Meanwhile, Malak tortures Bastila, trying to turn her to the dark side so that she could use battle meditation against the Republic, thereby guaranteeing the dark side's victory. The Ebon Hawk emerges from hyperspace at a rather considerable distance from the Star Forge. It is an enormous, unimaginably large space station orbiting a star from which it draws energy. Carthonasi relays the station's coordinates to the commander of the Republic fleet, Admiral Dodonna, after which the Ebon Hawk is attacked by Sith fighters. Fending them off, the Ebon Hawk approaches one of the planets near the forge, and then something strange happens. All systems of the ship fail, and the Ebon Hawk has to land on the planet's surface. The planet is surrounded by some sort of field that damages the systems of ships flying near it. Most systems of the Ebon Hawk are almost intact, but the stabilizers are completely burned out, so it is a miracle that the ship managed to land. The surface of this planet, Rakata Prime, is littered with the wreckage of hundreds of other ships. Now the crew of the Ebon Hawk faces two tasks: find working stabilizers and deactivate the field that breaks the ship's systems. This field will not allow the Ebon Hawk to take off, and moreover, it will simply destroy the entire Republic fleet, which has already received data on the forge and is soon to enter the system. Sith ships, like the Star Forge itself, apparently have some protective systems that prevent the field's destructive effect. T3M4 scans the area and discovers that the source of the field is some ancient temple. As soon as the team disembarks from the ship, they are attacked by the local inhabitants, representatives of the Rakata race. The Black Rakata are extremely aggressive and do not even attempt to make contact. Darth Revan fights through the Rakata and reaches their base, where he is met by more talkative Rakata, and Revan learns that he understands their language. They invite him to come to their village and talk to the leader, but Revan enters their village and kills everyone. In the end, he kills their leader in the arena as well. Darth Revan reluctantly saves one of the elders from another tribe who is at odds with the Black Rakata. The elder asks Revan to come and speak with the tribe's council. The elders meet Revan in their village, and it turns out that he has visited them before. Last time they helped Revan leave the planet and get to the Star Forge. They did this in exchange for Revan's promise to help them destroy the Star Forge, but back then Revan simply did not fulfill his promise and flew away, taking the forge for himself. Revan explains that he lost his memory and does not remember any of this at all, and the elders believe him. They agree to tell him who they are. They are the descendants of the priests of the Rakata race, who served during the heyday of the Infinite Empire more than 20,000 years ago. 3 years ago, Revan and Malak crashed on Rakata Prime. In search of a way to leave the planet, Revan and Malak besieged the settlement of the Elders. Darth Revan used the Force to learn the Rakata language and teach the Rakata Galactic Basic in order to establish contact. The Rakata helped them get into the temple, bypass the protective field, and leave the planet. Only those who can wield the Force can enter this temple, and the Rakata lost this gift during the collapse of their empire. The cause of this, as they say, was some kind of virus. Darth Revan pretends to regret his past deception and asks for help once more, and the Rakata agree. They will perform a ritual and open a passage to the ancient temple, and Revan must destroy the Star Forge. But the temple is a sacred place for the Rakata, and they will only allow Revan himself to enter inside. Last time they allowed Malak to accompany Revan into the temple, and this led to the galaxy plunging into a new, large-scale war. They do not want a repetition of the tragedy and therefore will only allow Revan to enter. The Elder begins the ritual, which takes several hours, but at the very end of the ritual, Jolie Bindo rushes in, saying he had a vision. It is too dangerous in the temple to go there alone, and after a long conversation, Revan manages to convince the Elders to let them both in. Meanwhile, on the deck of the Star Forge, Malak and his new admiral begin preparations for the final strike against the Republic, the conquest of the core worlds. Bastila has turned to the dark side, and with Malak now having the power of battle meditation at his disposal, his fleet is invincible. Revan and Jolee Bindo fight through the dark side adepts to reach the temple's upper level, from where they can disable the field around the planet. After killing several dozen of Malak's minions, they ascend to the very top, where Bastila, now fallen to the dark side of the Force, awaits them. She attacks, confident in her superiority, but Revan swiftly defeats her. Impressed by the true Dark Lord's power, Bastila understands which side she must take and swears allegiance to Darth Revan. Together they plan to destroy Malak and the Republic fleet near the Starforge, seize the station, and become rulers of the galaxy. Jolee Bindo, upon hearing this, declares that he cannot allow it. A fight ensues, during which Bindo ultimately perishes at the hands of Revan. Darth Revan disables the protective field, and he and Bastila return to the Ebonhawk, taking a working stabilizer from another ship with them. Near the Ebonhawk, they are met by the entire crew. Darth Revan immediately outlines the situation. He is the true Dark Lord, and anyone who refuses to serve him will die. Karth and Mission Vao refuse to kneel before Darth Revan. The droids, without any persuasion, will follow him. Canderous respects Revan as a brutal and highly effective warlord and warrior. For Darth Revan is the only one who managed to defeat the Mandalorian. He agrees to follow him. Zalbar, unwilling though he may be, is forced to listen to Revan, having sworn a life debt to serve him. Karth Onasi cowardly flees into the jungle while Mission Vao has nowhere to run. She is surrounded by those loyal to Darth Revan, but even in such a situation, she refuses to serve the Dark Lord. And then he commits perhaps the most terrible, inhumane, and vile act of his life. Darth Revan uses the Force to compel the Wookiee Zalbar to kill his best friend. Zalbar raises his bowcaster and shoots Mission Vao, killing the young Mission. Having eliminated all those unfaithful to him, Darth Revan directs the ship towards the Starforge, where the Republic fleet is already engaged in a decisive battle for the galaxy with Darth Malak's fleet. Bastila quickly realizes that Malak is currently distracted by this battle, and that it may be possible to slip through in the chaos, land on the forge, track Malak down, and kill him. Bastila contacts Admiral Dodonna. The Admiral reports that the Republic fleet is taking heavy losses but continues to fight. Bastila says that under no circumstances should they retreat. They must press the attack. Jedi Master Vandar interjects. He announces that the Jedi Order is also entering the battle. Small groups of Jedi Knights are already flying toward the Starforge in their fighters, intending to pull off the same trick as they did with Darth Revan. But this time it won't be a small commando unit, but an entire army of Jedi. He asks Revan and Bastila to join them, and with the combined forces of the Republic fleet and the Order, destroy Malak and the Starforge once and for all. Even the wise Master Vandar could not sense the darkness emanating from Revan and Bastila. The plan is this. Bastila and Revan head to the forge. Darth Revan kills Malak, takes command of the Sith fleet, and Bastila uses battle meditation. Thus the entire Republic fleet should be destroyed. The Ebon Hawk, in the confusion of the battle, manages to slip into one of the hangars of the colossal space factory. The Order is not yet aware of Revan and Bastila's betrayal, and therefore the Jedi and the two renegades fight side by side with Malak's forces. Malak orders the activation of the station's internal defense systems and unleashes an army of battle droids on the Jedi. They might stop ordinary Jedi, but not the Dark Lord Bastila and the faithful assassin droid. Subordinates report to Malak that the droids have failed, and the blame lies with Darth Revan, who is already aboard the station. Then Darth Malak orders all available forces on the station to be sent against Revan to delay him until Malak can activate all of the Starforge's defense systems. But even whole legions of soldiers, dark Jedi, and battle droids cannot hold back Revan, Bastila, and HK-47. Sensing the imminent death creeping upon him, Malak gathers his three most powerful dark Jedi and promises to take as an apprentice the one who deals a fatal blow to Darth Revan. It was naive to think that they could somehow delay Revan, and soon all three perish in the command center. Bastila says that because a massive amount of Sith forces has been diverted to fight Darth Revan, The Republic is starting to push back Darth Malak's fleet. If nothing is done, they might break through the defenses and destroy the Starforge, and this cannot be allowed. Bastila is forced to leave Revan and enter a deep trance to use battle meditation, giving strength to the losing Sith armada. In an instant, the ships begin to act differently. They form perfect battle formations. Every turbo laser shot hits its target precisely. Every pilot in the armada masterfully dodges enemy fire. The entire fleet reacts instantly to any change in the situation as a single entity. They all act in perfect unity. The Republic's forces are beginning to suffer horrendous losses, and Master Vanda realizes that this is the end. Bastila is using battle meditation against the Republic fleet. Alone, Darth Revan reaches the chamber of Darth Malak, and a battle commences between master and apprentice. Darth Revan charges at his former friend, unleashing the full ferocity of the dark side of the Force upon him. However, Malak draws his strength from an unknown source. Surrounding him, in tanks, are the bodies of Jedi, who are neither living nor dead, captured by Malak's forces during the attack on the Academy on Dantooine. They are on the brink of death, their hearts no longer beat and their consciousness has perished. Using the Starforge, Malak has corrupted their remains, and now these unrested Jedi fuel Darth Malak, making him invincible. But he did not anticipate that Darth Revan would also use these Jedi, drawing on their power just as Malak does. Darth Revan siphons the Jedi's strength and simply obliterates his former apprentice, the traitor. In his final moments, Malak admits that Darth Revan is far stronger and worthier than he is. And so, Darth Malak perishes, and Darth Revan reclaims the mantle of Dark Lord. The Republic and the Jedi Order fall. The galaxy kneels before the Dark Lord named Darth Revan. This is the plot of Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic. If you are a negative character,